Good Saturday morning. I'm still in my pajamas. My grands spent the night. It's going on about 9 a.m. Normally I'm up and dressed and whatnot, but I make them their favorite breakfast at Yaya's is pancakes and sausage. So I made them some chocolate chip pancakes this morning. And then their daddy picked them up, I guess, about 30 minutes ago. They're going downtown to do something for the Boy Scouts. Sorry. And so I've got y'all set up on the table here in my little living room. Living room is really not so little, but I use the back half of it. Like I said, one day there'll be a tour. Not right now, because I do have my sewing machine, one of my sewing machines set up in my little dining area. And because my little dining room is actually my sewing area, but on a few of the chilly days we've had here, being right next to the window where my machine is set up, it was just, it was chilly for me. So I wanted to be off of a window. So I set it up there. And then I can have my background music or program, whatever I choose that day, going on the TV, which is just opposite of where I'm sitting right now. And I do have a little 24-inch TV for the sewing area. Most of the time, I'm caught up with sewing and I can't really pay attention to what's on. But I did something different. Last month I completed a quilt. I'm sorry, y'all. We don't know how to behave over here. Okay, Roxy, go get your own toy. Roxy, go. Sorry. This is like, I'm telling you, it's like children. It's like I'm on the telephone. Let's see what we can do to make all the noise. And there's a big bucket. There's like they got their own. But it's the little one. She's an instigator. The baby. Rox, stop. She's not quite 9 months old. My life. They do make my life better, though. I love them. Anyway, so I was just going to share what I made this month. Never made these before. And so I had got some fabric for 70% off. So it was like next to nothing. I made scrunchies. I've never made scrunchies before. So fabric, if you don't know anything about fabric, when you cut with the fabric, that's from selvage edge to selvage edge, it's like between 42, 44 inches. So I think I cut it 26, and that made like a scrunchie this size. And there's elastic in there, and I even have my little tag. I don't know if that'll come in clear or not, but so that was the bigger one. And so there's fabric left over, so I decided to make some for the little students at the school. And yeah, you can see a size difference. And so I made these, and this is very obviously Valentine's Day with the conversation hearts. And they just got better with each one that I made as that can go. But there's, there was a few different patterns, which to me, this doesn't have to be Valentine's Day, and neither does that. And that's, the conversation hearts. And just the big hearts, the little hearts. Let me see. There was more patterns that I cut this, but I ended up not making it because I don't know. I didn't really like it. But anyway, so that fabric that I had cut up, oh, here's one right here. Here's a different pattern. So to me, I don't know. I don't think that it necessarily has to be Valentine's fabric. I mean, that's the section it was sold in. And like I said, the conversation hearts in the two different colors. And I think that just the regular hearts could be worn year round. So these were the bigger size ones that I had left over. I put them in there. I should put the camera on. What's going on right here? It's like, oh, she's got the camera going. Let's roll. Right? Right, Rox? This is the troublemaker here. Rox. And then I put the smaller ones in this bag anyway. Trying to kind of keep them separate. And so those are things that I made in February, towards the end of January, just playing around. The first two I made were pretty awful. I won't even show those. But and that's okay. I'll probably keep them just as, you know, this is my first ones. And the fabric wasn't that great. And even a few of these, like the conversation heart fabric, this is super soft. This is really soft. See, that was one of the earlier ones right there. I didn't like the tag placement. And so I didn't like it at all. And then that's when I experimented and did this tag there. So, and it doesn't even have to have a tag, but I put the tag in. I might do a couple of farmers markets. We'll see. Because you can't just show up and do a farmers market. I think where I live, if you do more than 4, you have to get a business license. Anyway, okay, things are rolling over here. So I've got a lot to think about as far as all that goes, and there's 2 different types of business license too. So if I were to sell on Etsy, I definitely have to get a retail business license. Farmers markets, it's a little bit different, but I think I read if you only do 4 markets a year, then you don't have to. This is the problem. No, they're looking at me very intent. And so anyway, I still need to do some batch making on things before I do, and I'll share on here what it is. I've got some ideas rolling around. I've got a bunch of fabric, and you know, Joann's stores are closing. The one in my area is closing. There'll be one about an hour away, and which, you know, I feel bad for all those employees. I think they're closing 500 stores, I think. I was talking with one the other day, and like I got elastic there. And I know you can do things on Amazon, and I know Joann's is not a small business by any sense, but you know, you're shopping local, you're supporting the employees that are there. And I know one of the young ladies, really sweet young lady, and my heart goes out to her. I know she shared this, whether she was supposed to or not, I don't know. I'm not going to report her, obviously. You know, she makes $20 an hour, and her husband makes that much. And you know, where I live, you have to make that. And so I feel for her. Like I said, she's a very personable young lady, and you know, she's got a family. So, but I understand about bankruptcy and restructuring and all that jazz. And so that's what they're going to do. And sometimes I feel like when you see some of these new businesses come on, that all of a sudden, boom, they're just all over the place. I know like Walmart markets did that, where it was just the grocery stores, and then like a year and 2 years later, so many of those were closing down. I don't know if it's just get bigger and better. They say also that 2020 had a big impact on those businesses as well. I don't know. I had, I feel sorry for those people who are out, making a living, and working hard, and, it's going to be a lot of people out of work. But, um, and I've been there, years ago, single mom, I had to, sorry, that's the dogs shaking the table. I shouldn't have thrown the ball. But anyway, I've got a few other sources where I can get fabric, because the things that I have in mind to make, I don't. Welcome. I don't want to. I don't want to buy really expensive high-end quilting fabric. If you're a quilter, you understand that it's not an inexpensive hobby. And so anyway, so to me, Joann's definitely has a purpose. And I know people who quilt specifically from their, I think they call it their quilters cotton collection. It's a higher end, and that's a few of the pieces I just showed you came from that section. And I got it, like I said, 70% off. And, this is real smooth. It's soft. So that would make a nice, in my opinion, this would be good in a quilt. The texture is good. So it probably has a higher thread count. And I met an elderly lady about a month ago at a Joann's, and I like Joann's for their notions. Like I said, the elastic, they have stuff on sale all the time. And so the elastic, and I had to get some batting, wadding, whatever you want to call it. I got some of that, and that stuff is just too. And I'm all about shop small business for the quilt stores too, but there's some stuff that if you have to buy a lot of it, it's expensive. And so I know a friend of mine in Virginia a couple years ago, we bought some batting by the big giant roll of it, and then we just cut it in half, and she got hers, and I'm still using that. And so as far as Joann's goes, I know there's 4 or 5 stores closing in my state. My local one is closing. There'll be one about an hour away from me, which, the closest, well, now I guess there is another quilt store. But like I said, you can also order it online, stuff online through Joann's. So there's still going to be that option. But I'm a very textile person, to where I want to feel the fabric. If I'm going to make something out of it, I want to touch it. And if you're ordering it by mail, that's not going to happen so much. So I guess if I do order with Joann's, then I would order their quilter cotton, their higher end quilting. Are we doing this? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We got to get right there. How many know this is like kids? But today is, and I want it. We're going to load up soon. I have to go shower and do all the things. Today's usually my farmer's market day, and also I take them to the dog park. It's a little busier today. So they love the dog park and get some good running in, and then they're pretty well done. But I have a project I want to get done this month. Like I said, I kind of set a personal goal for myself to get some things done each month, and I guess certainly I can count this. I gave away a handful of those, like I said, to the little girls at school for Valentine's Day, and it did feel good to be creative and even to experiment with doing something that I don't typically do. And I enjoyed it. Not the first couple I made. It's like, I don't know about this. But I did. It felt good to sit at the sewing machine that Billy had bought me a month before my daddy. No, I'm sorry. He bought it for me a week before my daddy passed away, so I didn't use it. I was so grief stricken. And then that was August, and then September we went on our anniversary trip to New England, mine and Billy's, and then like less than 2 weeks later he got sick. And so the machine, I had sewed a few things on it while he was sick, but I couldn't focus. Like I had it in the same room with him on the times he wasn't in the hospital. I just had brought it into the same room, but he had those multiple brain tumors, and sometimes, and it's a quiet machine, but anyway, I didn't really use it that much at all. So I finished that quilt last month, and like I said, I'm going to try to get myself to do something each month, even if it's scrunchies. And so anyway, I think, oh, she snotted on my face. But I think we need to probably get to the park. I'm gonna get showered for the day. My grands are with their daddy now, doing some Boy Scout things this morning. I think they had to go downtown and do something for my youngest to get his promotion in Scouts. And so I thought me holding the ball would calm them down. And so if you want to know anything about Boykin Spaniels, know that they are love bugs. I love these dogs. I tell you what, I love them. Roxy and Moxie. High energy, which is good because I get out and walk with them, and I walk them both at least once a day by themselves because they can nearly drag me down. And this is the baby. Got the baby. Let me see if I can get her in frame. Come here, girl. Come here, Rox. Rox. Come here, Roxy. She thinks I'm tricking her. You can see her nose. But she's not quite 9 months. She's born May 31st. And she has one training class left. And then she graduates from her beginner puppy training. And I do love her. And then her big sister. She'll be 2 March 26th. Is that when your birthday is, girl? In March. But she won't bite me. People say, oh, don't put your hand in it. She won't bite. They know the difference between the ball and my hand. So, anyway, okay. There we go. So, you can see the back paws when they slide out. But, sorry. It's not an earthquake. It's a Boykin quake. So just wanted to pop on and share what I made for February. Like I said, I'm going to try to do something each month. Just setting a goal for myself, and also, you know, that heavy blanket of grief that I had, it's not as heavy. It's definitely lighter. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. It was my third Valentine's without Billy, and I had somebody ask me. Sorry, I did have someone ask me, "Did you do much?" I said, "Well, you know, I'd wake up, and a lot of times the upstairs bathroom, there'd be a single flower. And, but I'd go downstairs to the kitchen in the morning after getting ready for work. And on the island would be some flowers and some chocolates. And I know some people think, oh, that's so, you know, traditional. But in 1989 is the first time Big Bill sent me flowers. I was living in Little Rock, and he was in that's Little Rock, Arkansas, and he was living in Wichita, Kansas, and he sent those flowers. And he called later, and I was like, okay, you know, you got to put on the brakes. This is too fast. This is, you know, I'm not, yeah, like I'm not feeling what you're feeling. And the the response I got from him was almost immediate. It was, well, I love you. This was my response. Like, it was like, oh. And he was just bold. And I was like flabbergasted, you know. I just didn't say anything. But 7 months later, we were married. So Valentine's will always be special for me, and you can call it a Hallmark holiday all day long. I don't care. It's the day that Billy was bold, and he said, I love you, and it definitely ignited something that my heart at that moment, I don't know that I was ready for it as single mother to two rambunctious boys, and Billy just wasn't somebody that I thought about romantically, you know. And so anyway, I don't know when I first said I love you to him. I think I went to Wichita, and we went out to eat. I like to, in my mind, it was, we're just going to go eat. I'm not even thinking it's a date. And like he was, and what's kind of sweet about that, and I don't even have all of them, is, you know, there was no email. So there was a lot of snail mail, and I don't have all those letters. I have some of them. You know, there's been multiple moves, and just stuff gets misplaced. But I have maybe a container like this with some of those early letters. So it was not just a Hallmark movie for me, and it was difficult yesterday morning to you need to settle down. Anyway, it was a little difficult to, you know, you wake up and you know, well, one, I'm not in the home we had lived in for over, you know, a few decades, and there's not going to be flowers waiting. And it's, you know, it's not about the flowers or the chocolate. It's about the person that, you know, thought so much of me and loved me so much that he wanted to make sure that, and that was just, it was like an anniversary day for us, you know. It was the first day he said, I love you. And so, you know, it was a good day to commemorate. And so I had a wonderful Valentine's Day, though. I got to share some love with kiddies at school, and got to go see Paddington Goes to Peru with my two grands, and had a sleepover with them, and it was good. It was different, but different's not bad, and it was good. Sorry, got a little bit of rain going on in my eyes. So I'll always miss Billy. I always will. You know, he's a big, integral part of my life. And at this point in my life, at the age I am now, I will not live longer than the time that him and I shared our lives together. And so, I don't know, unless God has me live to be 100, He might. I don't know. There's longevity in my family for sure, but sorry for all the uhs. But it was a good day. It was different. It was good. And, you know, I'm blessed to be so close to my grandchildren. And they truly massage my heart, along with these two knuckleheads who have finally settled down. But if you hung on this long, thank you. I hope to post more things that I've completed as far as creating, getting that creative side back, creating through grief, you know, and just the pleasure that there can be in that I definitely lacked the last over 2 years for sure. But I hope that y'all have a wonderful day. I gotta go upstairs and take my shower, get on some real clothes, and gonna have a good day with my little Boykin puppies here, Rocks and Mocks. And I hope you all, whatever you do today, I hope you make it great. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you later. Bye.